joining us on Inspired by Miss Amber Red. Today we have a special guest, Rachel. We're going to let her introduce herself in a second, but I'm also joined with Tanya and Maddie. So Rachel, go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell them a little bit about you.
Yes. Hello. I am Rachel Santiago. Originally from Chicago.
That one's yours. I should have told you that. Sorry, guys. We're just showing her where the camera is.
I'm like, which one is mine?
So I can clip that for you later on. All right.
But hello, I'm Rachel Santiago. I'm originally from Chicago. The youngest of 9 kids. Wow. Didn't come from a wealthy family, unfortunately. I'm always like, dang, right? Why not me, man?
I feel you.
But I made a decision when I was pretty young that a wealthy family could definitely come from me. And so I did not go to college, never had a degree. I'm actually the only one of my siblings who doesn't have a degree. I decided to pursue entrepreneurship. So started my first business when I was 21. I owned and operated a wedding chapel in downtown for 13 years. During COVID, I really just felt God calling me. You know, you can continue to chase money, you can chase your purpose. Business was flourishing. And what I really am most passionate about is people understanding financially, what does it actually take for you to live the life that you dream of? It's unfortunate. If I went out and interviewed 100 people and said, hey, listen, if you woke up tomorrow and you're living your dream life, is it any different from today? Most people would say yes. Mm-hmm. And it really is just because of finances. So I've been in financial services now for 4 years. I run an office here. I run a brokerage, and we're a national financial education firm. The mission of our company is to just really help, especially multicultural middle-class America, understand how to make more money, save money, protect money so that they can live their dream life.
Wow. I freaking love this. I just love this topic so much. I can't even, so in a previous episode, we were discussing, how they send us to school. All through our school years, it's we kind of think it comes up a little late in life that we get to finally explore the possibilities of what actually interests us, and how the whole time through school it's they're teaching you things, but it's they're not teaching you how to write a check. Not that that's really important anymore these days, but how to do those things, how to invest, what is a stock, how do we make money, how do we save money, how do we go about starting a business. I think that's one of the things. You guys, actually, yesterday, Maddie was asking me, and she's like, Amber, wait, we don't think, because these two, hopefully, by January, are going to become their own little businesses within a business, which is really exciting. But they're not showed that transition and what that looks like. Yeah. So they're like, do I have to get a business license? How do I get my Square account set up, to collect money? I don't think I'm ready for that. I'm it's not as big of a deal as you think it is. But it's overwhelming when you're not introduced to things like that, I feel. So I told Maddie, I was like, girl, I was like, I've been there. I don't even remember. It was nothing, because otherwise I would have remembered it, because I would have been traumatized, because I'm not the smartest when it does come in those things. So I like to try to put myself around people that are smart in that sense. So we just feel as a whole, when you go to school, they just aren't teaching us the right things, and then we're lost.
Yeah, and if you don't go if you don't go to college to pursue finance or something like that, it's you are kind of figuring it out on your own.
And you know what? Surprisingly enough, you can't even imagine how many people I've spoken to that have a finance degree. Yeah. They still feel like they don't know the blueprint of what does it take to be wealthy.
I think experience over school is always going to...
100%. Yeah. 100%. Absolutely. I homeschool my kids. I have 4 kids. My daughter's 17 now. She's a junior. I've been homeschooling her since she was in 1st grade. Wow. Just because when I started my first business, I'm like, man, I literally know nothing.
Literally.
I don't remember anything that I was taught in high school. I mean, I don't know marketing. I don't know, client objections. I don't understand any of these things. How do you go to school for so many years and come out feeling like you don't know anything?
And it's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. So I'm I got to position my kids where they get to my age. They're 20, 22. They're kind of figuring out what do they want to do with life. They're equipped to know, okay, well, regardless of what industry I want to be in, here's what it takes to be successful. Here's what it takes to, actually build wealth. Okay, now I can figure it out within this industry.
Ooh, if I had a mom like that, girl, what I would have done.
Not that my mom didn't try, but my mom's like, okay, just don't get a credit card. You don't need one. And I'm like, I'm getting a credit card.
I know.
Why not get a credit card? Why? Where's the responsibility fall? So I wish.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, okay.
And I come from we didn't have that much money. So now when we did get money, my parents are like, let's just enjoy what we have now, because we never had it before. So, YOLO.
Yeah. I think you're lucky, or lucky, not whatever. I mean, that could be lucky, not lucky. I guess I could see that from both ways. But I don't know that a lot of people that come from money Like, I don't know a lot of people personally that actually we're all kind of middle class and all kind of trying to figure it out along the way, which is, kind of, or even struggling a little bit, right? So
I would say, we have more motivation to learn and
try to figure it out.
We're hungry. We're trying.
We were comfortable. Why would we get uncomfortable?
That's why I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or if it's good or bad. That's kind of like just a general terminology, but I think it's very interesting. So, is there something that you could say? Like, I think it's amazing. First off, that you're teaching your kids that. I'm like, I'm jealous.
Can I be your kid?
I know. Just adopt me too, please. All three of us. We'll just put you in our back pocket. But is there something? So just starting a business in general. Is there like? I know this is we're gonna be able to just barely touch the surface on this. Probably gonna have to bring you back again. But it's like, is there something, a direction you could give people so that's like less overwhelming? Like, what's the first thing that maybe they should even look at?
Yeah. So 2 things. When I do my financial workshops, I'm like, let me show you how to make money. And now that you've made money, what do you do with that money so that money can go work for you? Right? You guys heard of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Great book. I'd say just read it. It's a great book. But he breaks down what's called the cash flow quadrant, or the ESBI. It talks about like what happens when you make money as an employee versus self-employed versus a business owner versus an investor. Obviously you're an employee. Well, you get paid a wage, which is either hourly or a salary, and there's only so much time of the day you can make. So naturally, regardless of how much of a hard worker you are, you're capped. Yep. So just the whole idea of you got to work hard, take it out of your mind. Like, growing up, my parents didn't graduate high school. So of course they told us, like, go to college, get a degree, you can get a good job. That hard work stuff, that does not pay off. Yeah. Right? I always say, like, it's hot here in Vegas. Imagine it's like August and it's 6 o'clock in the morning and you work for Bellagio. So you're outside like picking flowers. It's hot and that's hard work. Yeah. You're not going to be financially free doing that. Right, so being an employee, there's a cap on how much income you can make. You do not control anything. Your boss does. You can't walk into work and be like, you know what, my daughter has an opportunity to go to this college, so I just need to make like an extra $20,000 this month. They're going to be like... Right.
Yeah, too bad.
Yeah, right.
You're like, what does that have to do with us?
Right. Or you're like, man, you know what? My family, we've just gone through a lot and we want to spend a little bit more time together. I would really like to have 4 weeks of paid time off this year. They're going to be like, good luck.
Yeah.
So you got someone else controlling what you're doing. And then taxes. Yeah. A lot of people think that we're in a high tax time. We're not. If you study taxes, we're in one of the lowest times. The taxes has been like in 40, 50 years. Taxes are going to go up. So when you make income and they take taxes automatically out of your check, you can't control how much taxes. Mm-hmm. So when taxes go up, your paycheck's naturally going to go down. And then the most messed up thing is, we look to all be about the same age, more or less. How much was a bag of potato chips when we were growing up?
Right.
25 cents.
A quarter.
Literally.
50 cents at most.
Yeah. And how much is a bag of chips now?
Right.
$1, like $1.25.
They're overcharging for chips.
I just think of gas. I'm like, gas when I was a kid, I literally can remember being like, I don't even know if it was $1 yet.
It was like 99 cents, 89 cents.
And then when it was went over that $1, everybody was shitting themselves.
Yes.
And then now it's like, my mom's like, how much is gas? Look, I don't even look at it because, 1, I need it. I have no choice. 2, I'm like, it's at like $4.80.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's wild.
I look at the ice cream truck. I was like, I used to get 5 ice creams that I used to like for $1, and now that one ice cream is $2.50, and I'm like,
it's crazy.
I could have had like,
I won't have like
30. I know.
But 20 years ago, the average salary in the United States was $50,000, and today it's $55,000.
It's wild.
So the cost of living has doubled, tripled. But yet your salary's increased by 5. Who's gonna survive with that?
Ooh, I have a question. So, I like conspiracies. So why do you think they don't teach us those things?
Because they make more money when you're ignorant than they do when you're...
Well, we would have nobody working that hard flower picking job at Bellagio at 6 a.m. Because I personally, if that is my job and I'm only capped out at, say I'm working part-time or 40 hours a week, whatever, like that's all I can do and I'm only going to get paid a set rate. Like that seems like a lot of work when I can probably get an office job, maybe type at a computer in the AC for the same price for the same amount of hours. Yeah. It's like you would have more people being selective about.
And the reality is not everyone could be a business owner. Right. It's just not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. It's not easy. But the truth is you can be an employee and do certain things to just help you increase your income. You know, I do think everybody can have some kind of a side hustle, especially in this day and age with social media and the internet. You could do something on the side.
100%.
Sell some T-shirts on, like you could figure something out.
Yeah.
Every time inside me, sorry, Sasha, but every time inside me, every time I hear somebody saying they're going to go get another job, to get more money. I'm like, my brain immediately goes
shake
to
them.
Yeah, because I'm like, wait. Instead of capping out at the hours, my brain's immediately, absolutely not. Why don't you go do graphics? Why don't you create an online course? Why don't you get something that's going to reoccur that you can then have that one and then do another one and then do another one and let that kind of keep making you money? But then my brain stops there. I'm like, well, what's after that? I'm like, I don't know everything by any means, but that hourly thing really drives me.
Yeah, it's sad.
Bananas.
I mean, because think about this, right? The guy that works at Bellagio, maybe he's making $20 an hour. But what if he saved some money, got a little bit of equipment, and started offering to his neighbors to do their landscaping for them, and he's charging them $100 a month?
Yeah.
Yes, in the beginning, you got to invest to getting the material you need.
Right.
But then in the long term, and the thing is, we live in such a time where everybody wants everything instantly fast.
Yep.
We don't believe in delayed gratification. But if you can delay, your success will outdo what you can do in a job any day. Give it in any industry.
Absolutely.
So that's the first quadrant, right? Make money as an employee. So the second thing is being self-employed, which more people are open to. I think coming out of COVID, people are just fed up. Like you said, the whole trading time for money, it doesn't make sense.
Yep.
So being self-employed, it's great because you can control how much or how little you work. But the reality is most self-employed people, well, let me ask you, think self-employed people work more than 40 hours or less?
Oh, double, triple.
More. Yeah, you work more. So you're still losing more time in hopes to then make more income, right? And then you get tax write-offs. So there's some tax, benefits and some tax breaks. And they say that the average self-employed individual, depending on their industry, they can make $100,000 of income easier than you can as an employee. So there's some benefits to it. The next is being a business owner. Everybody, I believe, has some type of natural talent. You're good at something. Figure out how you can monetize it. That's your business, and because it's so unique to you, you have no competition in the market space. I'm in finances. There's a bunch of people in finance, but there's no one that could do finance the way I do it. Yep. So I just focus on what I'm naturally good at, and then I don't have competition in the market space. But being a business owner, a lot of people think, I'm self-employed, I'm a business owner. No, you're not, because a business owner has a system. That system can be taught to anyone, and those people run the business. Yeah. Like a McDonald's. How many McDonald's owners are flipping burgers and making milkshakes? No one. Right. No They've created a system. It's so easy. Literally, most people at McDonald's are teenagers. Like, if you're 22 and you work at McDonald's, you're the manager. You're running it. Yeah. Right? So figure out what are you naturally good at, systematize it, teach other people to do it, where you can oversee it, but you don't have to have your hand in the day-to-day operations. Now you can take a step back, because if you couldn't work or you didn't want to work that day, the business is still generating revenue. Now it's passive. Now you're on track to financial freedom.
The systems too, touch on that real quick, because the systems are I think crucial. Super important, because I've noticed, again, learning this along the way and just figuring it out, as you bring on more people, if you don't have a system, as much as it's no, I don't want to put us in a dress code, just the simple things. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to have a list for what we're cleaning. No, I won't have to do that. But guess what? One day when you hand that off, what are you have to have a system in place, because otherwise it's going to fall to shit. Nobody's going to know what's going on. Yeah. And as you bring in more people, it just gets more and more chaotic. Yep. I'm like, so you got to have something that's creating that overall standard. Otherwise it's just chaos.
Yeah. Well, systems in business stands for save yourself stress, time, energy, and money.
What the heck?
Love it. Trademark that shit. Is that really what that means? Or you think that?
No. She's like, no, that's legit. That's legit.
That was...
That was good. But I've never heard that.
I haven't either.
I can't take credit for it. Somebody made it up. But I mean, think about that, right? Like you said, okay, I need a dress code. I need to know who's cleaning what. Okay, well, what if you just took some time to create an employee handbook, and when somebody starts, here's your handbook, go read it. I need you to check this off, showing that you read it, and now here's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Have that.
So, I mean, systems, yes, they're needed. Sometimes it's tedious. Like, when I got to sit down at the computer and make all these, automated things, it drives me crazy. Yeah. But I'm like, I never have to do this again. It's just, it takes it off my plate. So systems is definitely what you need to be successful in business.
I struggle with that, because you get me to sit down, and it's like, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. I'm like, Amber, focus. You have to get this done. Just do it one time, like you said, and then it'll be, okay, hand it off. That's, yeah. What else do I need help with in my business that I can ask her, you guys?
Yeah, what? This is free advice.
I know.
I'm like, she's in here coaching me. I'm like, so say your business, I mean, because there's probably a lot of people in this economy right now. So say you got girls with you and they're riding with you, but the business, and we're just kind of staying steady. Ain't going up, ain't going down. you can get tough. You can feel kind of discouraged. Is there something that employees, do you think, that they could like, or discuss like a mindset or a direction or something that employees can do to, because if clienteles aren't slowing down and they're, making commission, it's like, well, I'm here and I'm trying to give time, but that's not so something like, I know you're going to say probably them develop something for themselves that they're good at, but like maybe
not necessarily, right? So if you get paid commissions, you have to know and be honest with yourself. It's going to go up, it's going to go down.
100%.
So in the process of like, I got to figure out a way to get my clientele to be consistent, what you really need to do is, what are you doing with the money when you have it? Because like, I'm a broker, so I work with agents too. They get paid commissions. I tell them all the time, if you made $10,000 in a month, great. Most people don't do that. But if you don't get paid for another 3 months, making only $10,000 in 3 months, that's tough. So when you have the money, what do you do with the money?
Yeah.
Right? You want to create a budget, put yourself in a position where a part of that money has to go towards like your future self, regardless. And so
something that they invest in,
something that you're something that you're investing in. Like I've always told myself, no matter how good, bad finances are, there's a certain percentage of my income that gets tucked aside into an account that can bear me interest. Like I act like if that money doesn't even exist.
A lot of times I think
is it a high yield like savings?
I was gonna say a lot of times I think people think they can't start investing or putting stuff away because I don't have enough money. Yeah. That's what you'll hear. Like I don't have enough money. Like how do you expect me to save or put a little away when I'm barely getting by? So it's like, how do you get past that mindset?
Yeah.
One of my friends put me onto like an Acorns app, and it rounds up all of my spare change. And over the past 6 months, I ended up saving up like $200 just from like, I spent $5.20. Well, 80 cents goes into this investment account that they then invest, and then it's just like I don't even know the money's gone because it's just rounding it up to the nearest dollar.
Yeah.
So and that's like, I was like, that's all I can. That's what I can give you guys right now.
Yeah, you gotta do with what you can. But the reality is, the longer it takes you to start, the more you end up having to save. So it's better to start with something small than to continue to delay it. So, okay, we talked about the ESBI, which the I is an investor. You generate enough money so you can go put that money into businesses or stocks, whatever, to go invest. So now these are the different ways I can make money. When I make this money, what do I do with it? So let's talk about this. When you think about, okay, I'm going to go put money into an account so I could go build wealth, what do you think, like, what are some of the things you would want that account to provide for you? Like you said, growth, right? Interest.
Yeah.
Anything else? Or is that all you look for? Just
security.
Interest? Security. Absolutely. Most middle-class Americans only concerned with those two things. The wealthy use what's called a laser test. They want a liquid asset that safely earns a return. It means they need it to be liquid, because if you're saving money and you got an opportunity to go invest, but you can't pull from that account, what the heck was the whole purpose of putting money in there?
Having access
to it. Can I get cash in my hands in a couple of days? So they need it to be liquid. They need it to grow. We need money to grow for us. We got to make money while we're sleeping somehow. They need it to be safe. If you're talking about, I'm just starting to build wealth, you cannot afford to lose any of that money. But then they also need tax breaks. And taxes is, man, I'm telling you, the government's out here raping these people in taxes.
Horrible.
We're so, there should be a class in high school just on taxes.
Literally.
Yeah, I literally, that's one, I look at tax, even just filling it out. Like, I'm like, I don't even know what this means.
Yeah.
And then I go do my taxes and they're like, oh, well, you filled this out wrong. So
or
now
you
got to
this
pay.
much.
Yeah, and when you ask somebody like in HR, like, oh, did I fill this out right? They're like, I don't know.
But because they don't know themselves.
Yeah. Right, literally.
But like, think about Jeff Bezos. I think it was in 2019, crossed over $1 trillion company. How much you think he paid in taxes?
I can't even imagine.
Nothing.
Zero.
Oh my
nothing.
God.
You're telling me,
the rich don't pay taxes.
No, you're talking about
they figure out how to work
but you're talking about a single mom that made $20,000, $30,000 a year, made more in taxes. And it's not, and like, people get mad at the rich. You can't be mad that they're educated, because what they're doing is legal.
Yeah.
He legally found ways, like loopholes to not pay taxes. And we think that loopholes are illegal. No, it's literally in the IRS tax code booklet. Where you see that this code works this way, so figure out how you could use this code. Yeah. We just don't do that.
Yeah.
So they want something that's liquid, it's safe, it grows, and it gives you tax breaks. So then let's look at what we do, right? The bank. You talked about high yield savings. The bank is liquid. You can pull your money out. The bank is somewhat safe because the FDIC will back you up to $250,000. Anything above that, you lose it. Yeah. There's no growth in the bank, like traditional checking account, savings account. It's 0.01%. No one's excited over that.
I always get excited in my money market account. I know it's so silly, but my husband's like, Amber, that money is just sitting there. It's a money market ain't giving you shit either. I'm like, $200, buddy.
Yeah.
And then there's no taxes in the bank. So the wealthy are not using the bank as the foundation to build their wealth. So second most commonplace, 401ks. Everybody gets a job and we feel like, oh, I got a big girl job, I got a 401k, I'm going to go max my contributions. Well, it's somewhat liquid because if you're not at least 59 and a half and you pull money, you get penalized.
Right.
Yeah. And then it's tax deferred, so because you haven't paid taxes yet, you got to pay taxes. And most people are going to pay taxes later, which we know taxes are going to go up. So it's somewhat liquid, but not really. Can a 401k grow? Yes, the stock market will give you the ability to grow money, but you'll also lose because there's no guarantee. The market's not going to stay up forever. So it's not safe, and then there's no tax breaks. So then that's not what the wealthy are using. Mm-hmm. So then let's talk about real estate. We want to build wealth in real estate. And again, it's not that these places are bad, that you shouldn't have any money. You just got to understand what's your starting point, what's the foundation that I'm building on. So real estate's not liquid. You're not getting cash in a day or two. Right. It's not happening. It's not safe. 2008, crazy market crash. Can it grow? Sometimes, depending if the market's up or down. And only some people can get tax breaks, not everybody. So when you look at what middle class America is doing, we literally are using one of those three. We're either putting money in the bank, we're doing it in stocks, or we're doing it in real estate. Yeah. And obviously the wealthy are not doing that.
Yeah.
So what the wealthy are doing is they have an account where it's completely liquid. Whatever you need the money for, they can get access to it. It grows. It gives you an average 3 to 12% interest every single year. It's completely safe. It doesn't matter if you had 250 or 250 million. The money's safe. You won't lose anything. They contractually have to back up every penny in that account. And then it gets tax breaks. There's a IRS tax code, the 7702. You can literally go to irs.gov, put in 7702 in the search box. It'll tell you exactly how the account works. When you put money into it, you've already paid taxes because, usually through your job, you've paid taxes. Right. So when it grows, the interest grows tax-free. You can borrow from it and not have to pay anything in taxes. So let's say they put $10,000 in this account and it's grown to $30,000. That's $20,000 technically of free tax-free money. And now then they take that tax-free interest and then they go put it in the stock market or go invest into real estate. But they're utilizing this as the foundation to help them build. And now that I built, okay, let me take this so I can go get another asset. Let me take this so I can go get another asset. Most people don't even know what that last account is.
Yeah, I don't.
They don't.
I'm like, I want to know.
Yeah, speaking in code, I'm like, anybody just has access to
where do you write that code down
where do I find this code? Or is it written in the back of the bathroom
Well, Mike, where's this account? Where do you go sign up for this account at?
Where's the account?
Where is it?
So, okay, I'm going to say 2 words.
Cayman Islands?
I'm going to say 2 words. You got to tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
Oh, gosh.
Okay? Don't cheat. Okay. If it takes you like 5-6 seconds, you're cheating. All right? Life insurance.
Dead.
State Farm.
Death. Most people think that life insurance is a death benefit.
I've heard about you're supposed to use your life insurance while you're alive.
Yes.
Of course, TikTok educating me.
I have heard that before.
But
too.
I'm also like, how? And
okay, so
I feel like you don't get into life insurance until
you're in your 60s.
They send me, my credit union sends me something all the time, and I'm like,
all right, Amber, listen in. You gotta do this.
Well, then they're like,
all right, you gotta do this.
Well, like, what's the sense? Like, I want to use that money now. I don't want to use it when I'm dead. That's no fun.
That's
and I don't want somebody else to have it. I want to use it.
Yeah.
A beneficiary?
So here's the thing. Studies show that the average wealthy family, they're actually putting 54% of their savings into life insurance. That's a lot. It's obviously not for a funeral. You're wealthy, you could pay for a funeral. And it's not to pass money on because if they're wealthy, they got money to pass on. It's because the benefits that they could use while they're still alive. And what you said is so important. Literally, statistically, an average American won't even look into insurance until they're in their 60s. Yeah. But you pay for life insurance with your age and your health. So the older you are, the most expensive it is.
Yeah.
And then if you have some pre-existing health issues, you can get declined outright. Now you can't even can't even get it. You only have to be 14 days old to buy life insurance. Literally, 2-week-old baby can get $1 million of life insurance. So this is what the wealthy do. When they have a newborn baby, they'll buy $1 million of insurance. It's not term insurance, it's permanent insurance, meaning the death benefit goes until past 100 years old. What's the likeliness that we live to be 120?
Yeah.
We're not. So they understand, I have this newborn baby, they're not going to live past 120, so now there's $1 million that can be added to our family trust that we don't going to pay any taxes on. So it increases the value of the trust. Now, in these policies, when you pay your premium, only a small portion of that premium actually pays for the insurance. The rest goes into a separate account. It's tied to the stock market, like the S&P 500. And so when the market's up, they'll give you up to 12% interest. Your money grows. But when the market's down, contractually, the insurance company will give you 0%. Means if you had $10,000 in there and the market tanked, they give you 0, you still have just $10,000.
But it just sits there.
It just sits there.
Yeah.
And now, again, through this IRS tax code, when it grows tax-free, so you can borrow against it. And The wealthy call it building your own bank account. You don't need to be a borrower. You need to create your own bank.
Yeah.
And so you could use that money for anything. So let's say the child's going to go to college. So now they're increasing their ability to make more income. They can pull from the life insurance to go pay for college so they don't have debt. Let's say they're going to start a business. Instead of taking out a business loan, just pull from my life insurance, go start this business. We want to buy a house. Like what? They're literally using the life insurance as a bank account. Okay, I have an opportunity to go invest into this business or get into the stock market. Why? Because if it's interest, it's not the money you worked hard for. Right? It's not what you had to use to build. And so if the stock tanked, yes, it sucks, but the principal money that you had is still there. So you're still at where you're at. You're not poorer than you were when you started.
That feels safe to me, safer
It's
to me
safer.
than other things.
It's not like it's like a good gamble because you're not going to get anything taken away from you.
Right. It feels nice to me.
So they just utilize the life insurance as a bank account.
As a bank account. Yeah, I think John explained something like this to me before. And I was just like,
I wish I
What?
could understand, but I'm just like,
I know, like I'm hearing it, and I'm like,
following
but
along.
okay, so if you,
I'm like,
what if you are like, you know, maybe like you don't have 10,000 to start with, like you start with your life insurance, like if I pulled money from my life, like how do I pay that back? Or like what?
That's the best part. Okay,
Okay.
so these are your death benefit is collateral. So the way that is a two accounts. Let's say you have $1 million of life insurance. That's your death benefit. It's going to pay out when you pass away, but you've been accumulating cash and you have $100,000. The $100,000 is your credit limit. That's the most they'll allow you to borrow from that million, but you're still borrowing for the million. So your death benefit's the collateral. When you pass away, if you have not paid the loan back, they will
just comes
subtract
out of
it
my
out of the
money.
death
Out of
benefit.
the-
Everything else goes to your beneficiary.
It's amazing.
So it's a loan that you technically don't have to pay back.
that's crazy.
And
That's crazy.
Even better part is it's uninterrupted compounding interest. So let's say you have 100,000.
We can charge people for this episode.
Yeah, whoa.
Yeah, that's wild.
Discount code for this episode, Shasser, what is it?
Yeah.
So let's say you got 100,000 and you pull 50 out because you have an ability to go invest into something. That year when they're crediting you interest, because it's a loan, you didn't actually withdraw it. They're going to credit you interest on the 100,000 if you never took money out. So it doesn't interrupt what's growing and compounding. So you literally can say, okay, give me 50,000. I'm going to go get this business started. But it was a 10%, interest that year because the market was great. So they're giving me 10% on the 100,000, and then it just continues to
And do they do you have to have good credit, or is it like, do they check in any of that? Or
depending
who
on,
do you go to like say you did want to pull out a business loan, like are you talk to your life insurance agent?
I
don't even
always
know. Is that
look.
a thing?
Again, use your life insurance as your bank account.
Smart.
Use it as your bank account. If you have the funds available, I would always borrow from there than I would borrow before anything else because I don't technically have to pay it back. And I'm going to continue to get interest on the money that I've accumulated thus far.
Where do you take it? Like, who takes it out? Like, do you go to like your life insurance and you're like, hey, I want to take 20,000 out?
Yeah, depending what companies you have. Nowadays, these companies are so tech savvy. Most companies have an app where you literally log into your app, you see what's
Like
in your
your-
policy, and you could request a loan just from your app, or call customer service and give them your policy number and tell them, I want this.
Wild.
I know. So we're all getting life insurance.
We're all getting life insurance. If you ain't getting life insurance, you need to get some life insurance.
We
You
need
got
to,
life insurance over there? How many
We
people
need to
have
summarize this
Hold on.
episode.
How many? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many people have life insurance in
She
here?
has a lot of life
7.
insurance.
I bet she does because she's smart because she comes from me.
Mom set you up for success. My
Okay, so
jaw is on
3
the
out of
floor.
7 have
Okay,
life
so
insurance.
obviously, like,
I've
okay,
been
we know, other
teeter-tottering on
than
it.
you explaining
need
to
to
us,
go
like,
on.
I do
Yeah.
nothing. So, like, how can we get started? Like, how did you get started? Like, to
Yeah.
even start researching, like, what's a good place to start? What are we
That's
looking for? Like,
easily understandable.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like,
you don't have to elaborate on just like where.
Yeah.
What do you even
yeah, like,
Yeah,
what
what
did
are
you
your
even,
tools?
what were, like, your questions? Or, like,
So this
you know,
is exactly what I do. I'm an insurance broker. I sit down with clients. I find out what's your problem. Some people are like, man, I really need to start figuring out how to take care of my parents. They're getting older. Okay. I have kids. I want to send them to college, or I'm concerned about my retirement. I don't think Social Security is going to be all that. Okay. Find out what their budget is and then structure their life insurance specifically to be some type of financial vehicle to help them towards that goal. It's that simple.
Some of the things they should have told us in high school.
I was
I
gonna say,
know.
and here I spend all this time in
Yeah.
school and alive. I'm about to be
wild.
28 and it's on my job. Oh,
I see a lot
Yeah.
of stuff on social. I have another question. I see a lot of stuff on social media. Like it says, like it'll say you should have this much money saved by this age in order to have this much money at this age, or like say, so
Yeah.
at 30. at 30, because I think most of the people around are about 30 years old in who we're talking to. So by that age, how much money do you think that person like should have saved?
That's a good question. So this is called your FFN. It's your financial freedom number. If I had a calculator, I could literally show you, but it depends.
Hold on.
Actually, sorry.
Speaking of calculators,
okay, so let's do this. Let's do this with you. How old are you right now?
Me?
Yeah.
27.
27. At what age do you want to retire? Like, you want to stop trading time for money at what age?
I don't even know. I don't know. We'll say
55.
Yeah,
Yeah, 55.
55.
Okay, 27. So you're going to work
Seems
another
not
28
too
years.
Yeah.
How much annual income do you feel you need in retirement to be comfortable? Like, some people say, I need $50,000 a year. I need $100,000 a year. How much?
Like 70.
About 70?
Maybe.
Okay. So you got 28 more years to work to be able to give you $70,000 per year. The average life expectancy is like 85, so you need 30 years. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to calculate these numbers.
I'm going to have her do mine too, because I'm on the older age of our target market. So
55. I'm like, that's like literally.
Okay, so a $70,000 lifestyle, by the time you turn 55, you need $168,000. So that's what you would need annually. Now, if you live to be 85, or you should want your money to compound past 85, that's from 55 to 85, that's 30 years. Your financial freedom number is $5,040,000.
I'm getting a later start. Don't do mine. It's going to be way worse.
Hold on.
That's how much you need to have that. That's
to have
wild.
a
$5 million. Wait,
$5 million
is what you need.
Which you would need by 55. Not necessarily in your life
No,
insurance.
just
in your financial portfolio. By the time you're 55, you need to have $5 million.
$70,000 a lot? Is that like a bougie lifestyle? I don't think so.
No,
it's not.
will you do mine? Because I'm
It's
a lot
not.
older and I have a higher need.
Yes. So let me break this down for you, right? If you need this by 55, I can give you a kind of a guide backwards. Have you guys heard of the rule of 72?
No.
So Albert Einstein came up with this formula. He said, take the interest rate they give you, divide it by 72. It tells you how long it takes the money to double. Mm-hmm. So I tell my clients just 6%, because that's kind of an average. If you got 6% every year, it's going to take 12 years your money to double. So we divide this in half, go back 12 years to give you a track. So at 55, so we'd be 32 years old. So when you're 32, you need that. And how old are you right now? 27?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm about to be 28.
You got 5 years to get $2.5 million.
Jesus. I know. I'm like, maybe I don't want to know my number.
No,
That's
do Amber
really
now.
scary.
Do Amber now.
Okay, and how do you do that?
Yeah, and how do I get that?
Oh,
Talk to her.
I do my life insurance. I start investing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would tell you, like, right now, be in hustle mode. Like, you gotta put your head down and just go make money.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, believe it or not, there's never been an easier time to make money in the United States than it is right now. The reports of how many people are becoming millionaires every day is crazy. Like, people are deceived to think, but the inflation, the recession. If you're in the right industry with the right platforms, you can really scale an income. So just go in go mode. I'm going to make as much money as I can the next 12 months. And the money that you're making, don't increase your lifestyle. It's the hardest thing for people. They want to start buying cars and bags, and don't.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything for you in the long run. You got to have just like this time period where you're like, I'm making money, I'm putting this money into this account. I'm making it, I'm putting this into this account.
Yeah.
And then when you get to a certain place, okay, then go upgrade your house or your car. But you got to be in hustle mode for a little bit of time.
Right.
Okay, Amber, let's do it.
Oh, I'm scared. I'm so scared. Okay. I'll just go with 39. I'll be 30.
Okay, you're 39.
Yeah,
and
just-
what age do you want to retire?
50.
50. Okay, so 11 years. What do you want your annual income to be in retirement?
250,000.
250. Okay.
Okay, bougie.
So with inflation, it's $387,500. And you said from 50 to 85, that's 35 years. $13,562,500.
And divide that by 2 now. Get to stepping.
Daddy's like a follow along. Divide
Yeah,
that
go
by
ahead. Lead the way. Amber. We're right behind you. We're right behind you.
Oh my God.
Amber,
put that away.
in your situation, I would be on like a hunt to recruit as many ladies as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you can train these ladies and they could do that, and you could step aside and start taking other things on your plate.
I started that about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
Prodigy.
we're going to get it. We're going to get it. It's hard finding quality people, but I'm going to get it.
I love it.
We're all here now.
Oh my God, I feel like my brain is going to explode.
Like, I'm trying to go be a hippie and live in the forest, and none of it's going to matter.
I want some land to have all the puppies.
Okay, so basically to live your happy life, you would just you'd get your life insurance, take out a loan, get an RV, and just like dip until you die, and then it'll pay back. I don't know.
That sounds good to me.
That's like the best I got.
So that sounds. I mean, for your lifestyle, me, I don't know. Maybe take a loan out, and now that I know, I'll just pay it back when I die.
I want an island with a house with puppies.
And if we all stay connected, boom. We don't, I don't need a house with puppies and land because I'll go visit Amber.
I'm gonna live in the forest.
I'll go ride with you around. Yeah, like Sasha, what are you gonna do?
I know.
Yeah, I'm taking with you in the forest. Yeah, we're gonna be hippie, living off the land. I'm like, can I eat that? Right now.
You're gonna end up like that guy on them
out in the
wild.
Maybe a cute boy with a fan.
Yeah, grapes. I'm going with Amber.
Yeah.
What do you want? Oh my goodness.
I want to know what she wants.
Man, to be honest with you, retirement. I don't know. I love what I do.
What does that look like for you?
I love what I do. I definitely want to have property, throughout Europe and different places. I'd love to travel. I don't see myself like I'm going to wake up at noon and just be in this. I can't do that. I want to travel.
I say that and it'll last maybe a week. And I'm like, help me.
Yeah.
I got to do something.
I think if we all had financial freedom, traveling would be that would be the
experiences, seeing things, being in culture. I love it.
Yeah. Eating good food.
Yes. Me. I love a good food.
Well, to wrap this up, I want you to just take a couple minutes, tell them anything that they need to know. How do they contact you? You've already kind of talked a little bit about what your services you provide, but go into further detail on that. And then we're also going to put it down in the description below. So
for sure. You can follow me on any social media platform. TikTok, I'm Rachel the Wealth Warrior. Facebook and Instagram, it's Rachel G. Santiago. If you're local in Vegas, I do financial workshops every single week. I invite people to my office so we could show them how to create wealth, throughout a recession. And that's how you can contact me.
How do you feel about 4 ladies? Because there's 4 of us. 5 of us coming to just do those workshops.
Yes.
I know.
Oh yeah, I'll be in there.
That's awesome.
I
feel like this was the first time I had a financial conversation that really made a little bit of sense.
I feel like you're very relatable too. I don't know that she's very relatable. Like I don't know, because anybody else could have probably said all that to me, and I would have been like, or I don't know. Like it's hard for me to stay focused when you're talking about certain things, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. No offense, but I feel like if it was just a boring man talking, I would have been like,
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I don't want to bring it down to this, but I'm like, she's a girly. I'm like, she's a girly of color, so it's like, it's different when you're talking to a white guy in a suit, you do it.
To me, the thing is, I don't have children, but for some reason that strikes me. It's like you recognize teaching that to your kids, and to me that's on another level because it's like
that's going to change their life.
Well, and that's not the norm. They don't want us to learn that stuff as we're growing up. So, and it's like they're trying to keep us down here. And she's like, no, here you go, empowerment. There, take it,
lifting
go.
them up as you are coming down. Yeah,
it's amazing.
And I always tell people, look at what your grandparents did. Where did it get them? Look at what your parents did. And so we're following the path. And it's literally the definition of insanity to think that you could do the same thing for generations and generations, and then magically it's going to change. Yeah. Like my son, he's 7. I'm telling you, this boy is going to be a billionaire.
I love it.
He is so smart. So he's been saving money. He hustles, right? So at my office, it's a big office. There's a bunch of cubicles. He moved all the cubicles to one area, and he's telling all my agents, you're going to rent a desk? Not asking, you're going to rent a desk. It's $1, okay? What number do you want? And he wrote their name on a paper. He gave them a receipt. He charged them $1. I'm like, they pay rent in the office. I'm like, okay, do your thing.
They're like, okay, $1 more. It's fine. It's fine.
So he's doing little things here so that he can make money. And so he's like, okay, Mom, I got $89. I want to go buy a toy. And I teach my kids, if you can't buy it twice, you don't have enough money to buy it. So we go to the mall, and he sees this little toy, it's $25, and he's like, okay, I want to buy it. Can you buy it twice? Yes. Okay, so you could buy it. He's like, but I left my money at home. Okay, no problem. I'll buy it for you when we get to the house. Give me your money. But you're going to pay me $30. Yep. And he's like, what?
Because I'm loaning you money.
Yeah. So at the moment, he's like, okay, whatever. I'll pay you the $30. $5 more. Yeah. So we go home that night. He's laying in bed, and he's like, Mom, I'm not paying you $30. I said, absolutely you are. I said, you got to be a man of your word. We had a deal. He's like, I don't understand. Why do I have to pay you $30? It's interest. When you borrow money from someone, there's a fee for that. So you're going to pay $5. And he's like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And so I'm telling him, you got to position yourself where you never need a loan. You are the one that loans the money. So he's like, okay, I'm going to pay you this $5. I'm never going to pay it again. The next day we go to church. He's in kids class and he tells this little girl, do you have money? She's like, yeah. He's like, how much? She's like, $29. He's like, that's nothing. He's like, I have $89. Do you want some? I was like, stop. So now he's trying to figure out.
He's like, who wants to borrow money from me? I'm going to overcharge you.
I'll give you 20. Yeah. Give me 25.
He's a loan shark.
He is so funny.
At Sunday school.
Yeah.
So I was like, stop. Especially not in kids class.
Oh my
But yeah,
gosh.
like my daughter, she's 17 and her and I are processing, like, I want to get a job. And I'm like, I don't want you to get a job to pay bills. I want you to get a job just so you can figure out money. Like, go make $2,000, know what it feels like to have $2,000 and not spend it.
Yes.
Like, how long can you just keep that money? Because naturally we're
Disciplined,
consumers. Like, we just want to spend.
That's my problem.
And so you got to figure out like these habits of, okay, how can I make this money, keep it, so that it can go make me more money, and then in the end, there's
and
nothing that I can't
I feel
purchase.
like can be developed because I've always been a good saver. I don't know, just miraculous. I just always have been, but it can be developed. Like you literally, like once you start doing it, it gets easier and easier. You're like, oh, $5, oh, I can. And then I think mine's like a game. I'll see the number kind of start stacking. I'm like, oh shit, just that $5. What if I do 10? What if I do 25? And then it gets out of control, and then I'm like not spending anything. I'm like, okay, you got to enjoy it too.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
also, I think that can be developed. So I know people are like, I can't save or I can't do that. I'm like, you can, and it gets easier too.
Yeah.
So.
Honestly, I'm horrible at saving, but I was like, I got to put money aside because I'm going to travel to Vegas and we're just going to somehow make it work. And
Yeah,
that's,
I
like,
want my savings to make money
responsible
because I
thing.
feel like that's the thing. Like, I feel like I can be good at saving money, but I'm like, if this is $2,000, it's always going to be $2,000. So I'm just going to go spend it because I know I can. If I say I'm going to make $2,000 back, I will. So then I'm like,
yeah.
But I want it to make more money.
Grow.
Yeah. What I always tell clients is like, if you make less than $100,000, keep 3 months of your expenses in a savings account. Anything above that, move it, because how many emergencies are really going to be more than 3 months of your monthly expense? It's not. If you make six figures, then probably 6 months.
You would kill me.
9 months
if
of
you
your
saw what I'm
savings.
doing.
But
I'm like hoarding. I'm like, no, I can't put that anywhere. It's not safe.
No, and I've met clients before that they literally will have 6 figures in the bank and their expenses are like, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're scared. Scared money doesn't make money. So you should never have more than 12 months of your expenses in a savings account. You got to move it. It's got to work for you.
Wow.
Okay, we could talk for hours. Is there anything you want to leave them with? We should do this again. But
absolutely, I would love to.
Anything you want to end with? Like last nuggets?
I would just say, listen, it's never too late to start, but the longer it takes you to start, the more you're going to end up having to save. So just get started.
And is 40 too old to get started?
No.
Okay.
Like 28 is like right where
you guys gotta go.
I know.
People
No
told
need to
me
start
at 28
now.
to go, and I didn't. And you really need to go.
No.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and Rachel, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you
this.
guys. Thank you for having me
Yeah.
here.
And Tanya.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow Rachel.
I was gonna say all her details will be in the description below because we're gonna go see her, so you guys need to go see her too.
Go see Rachel.
Thank you guys so
Bye,
much.
guys. Thank you.